So there's no good, there's no bad with this. It's just understanding kind of what has been kind of the models that we've grown up around, and what environments do we currently put ourselves in, because we can shift it and become more skilled at managing money and our personal finances and business finances and things like that. Hey, welcome everyone. My name is Tanner O'Brien. I'm a senior partner here at Action Coach in Central Texas. And we just absolutely love working and sharing some of this knowledge on business to help you all continue to grow your business and just have a much better and exciting life that, most of us went into when it came to starting a business or buying a business or anything else like that. We're here to kind of help you continue to grow along that journey. So I was at a meeting a couple weeks ago where we were talking about kind of business financials. And it was a quick reminder that sometimes taking a step back and understanding our thoughts about money, our relationship with money, what the definition of money is, sometimes can be the most important place to start, because if we don't have kind of our initial money models set, then it can be very difficult to actually manage whether it's personal finances or business finances. They kind of all fit together at that point. So I'm going to go through just a couple of the key points in this process that we talked about in this meeting a few weeks ago, from what is money to our relationship with money. We're just going to kind of tackle those two things here today. The first one, what is money? Like, how do we define money? Well, I came across, I think it was a couple years ago now, a definition of money that really resonated with me because it took some frustration out of it. So that definition was that money is an idea that's backed by confidence and it's exchangeable. It's really no more complex than that. It is an idea that we all have as human beings, or just people transacting, right? And it's backed by confidence. So like here in the United States, we have the U.S. dollar. It's backed by the confidence of the government and the confidence of the people that choose to use it, and it's exchangeable. We have the ability to transfer that particular component of money, that idea that's backed by confidence, in exchange for other things, for goods, for services, for experiences, for whatever, right? That's all it is. It's a tool. It's a thing that we get to use to allow us to do more things in our business and our lives and things like that. Just take that out. For me, it took a lot of the emotion and the frustration and things like that around money, and it took that out and made it very objective. It's just a tool that we get to use to do different things within kind of our own lives and our own business. So the next piece then is, when it comes to money, what's our relationship to money? And this is a big one. There's a number of really good books out there in terms of kind of understanding how we think about money. If you want to get a couple recommendations in that, please drop a comment below. Let us know. Maybe we'll do a video on different kind of book recommendations when it comes to kind of the money mindset. But here we're going to really just cover three super basic things. And the first one is, what's your current belief system around money? The second is the habits that we have. And third is the emotions that we feel. So we start with current belief system. And one of my favorite exercises to do. So if you want an exercise to go do, stop the video or listen to this next question, then stop the video, go do this exercise. But it's to write down kind of the first beliefs or thoughts or words that come to mind when somebody says money. So if I say money, go write down all the different words and beliefs and things like that that come up around the concept of money. Just write it all out on a piece of paper. Be super authentic and share what's actually in your mind. Once you're done with that, shift it over, maybe flip that page over, and now you're going to do the exact same thing, but I want you to use the word wealthy people, and then write down all the different words and things that come to mind. 9 times out of 10, especially if I'm doing this in a room with other entrepreneurs, the words that come up around money tend to be pretty close to 50-50 positive words and negative words. We've got some things like stressful and frustrating and never enough, but on the other side, it's a tool and abundant, and different words like that tend to come about. And it's kind of cool to see that. You've got some negative thoughts, you've got some positive thoughts, kind of different things that come along there. And then we move on to the second piece, and it's wealthy people. And almost every single time, with a couple exceptions in there, almost every single time, the skew towards the negative side of words tends to go up dramatically when we talk about wealthy people. So, yeah, greedy, self-centered, pious, a lot of these types of words tend to hit the list, and a lot less positive ones, which is really fascinating because at least in my own experience, and maybe y'all have had some different experiences than me, but in my own experience, some of the most wealthy people that I've ever encountered are also some of the most generous people that I've ever encountered. They tend to do more for others than 90% of the other people that maybe don't have as much to give. And that's a very fascinating thing for me. But it comes back down to when we look at these words, and let's say you went through that exercise, you wrote all them down, and you're kind of looking at it. And if you've got more of a negative skew, what does that say about kind of our mindset around money? What are our belief systems around money and around wealth? If y'all have ever heard of the identity iceberg, or just kind of thought of identity as an iceberg, that iceberg analogy is what 90% is below the surface, 10% is above the surface. Well, in this example, especially when we're talking about money, the above the surface, that 10% that shows, is your actions, your behaviors, your decisions, the results that kind of come out of our own lives. Everything below the surface then is skills, beliefs, values, identity, and then what shapes it all is the water, which is the environment. The environment that we place ourselves in actually helps shape the identity, the values, the beliefs, and the skills that we choose to develop. So when it comes to money and different things like that, or business finance specifically, skills is that one that's just below the waterline. People can't specifically see the skills, but they can see the actions, behaviors, and decisions based on the skills that you've developed. Well, if you've ever heard of someone say, "Hey, I'm just not good at math. I'm just not good at numbers. I don't like, spreadsheets. I don't like this, and I'm not good at it." That's a limiting belief about their ability to create those skills. If they don't believe that they can do it, they're not going to take the time to go get good at it. And this is, kind of moving up that identity iceberg. So we go back, we say, all right, so why are those core beliefs there? Well, maybe that's because, the values that were instilled earlier on, kind of the environment that they grew up in, the identity from culture to whatever, may have kind of shifted and said, hey, if you didn't get it right the first time, maybe you just aren't good at it and you shouldn't even go try, right? There are people out there that have had those types of experiences. And this is what's shaping those beliefs. So when it comes to understanding money and understanding our relationship to money, it's important to kind of understand what are our values and our beliefs. What environment have we been in, and what environment do we choose to put ourselves in today? I was working with a group of younger professionals a number of months ago, and we were talking through kind of what was your earliest lesson, your earliest memory when it came to money. And we went around this great big table, and there were things like things cost more than they thought. They learned very quickly about taxes. Money just wasn't something that people talked about at home. All sorts of things like that. And I shared one of my earliest lessons, which was I must have been 7 or 8 years old. And my mom very quickly taught me what interest was. So we were at a store, and she I think there was like a candy bar or something like that I wanted, and I asked if I could borrow a quarter. She said, "Yes, absolutely. But when you get home, it's going to cost you 2 quarters." I'm like, wow, that's pretty big interest, right? But this was an early core memory for me. So the environment that I grew up in, the things that we talked about when it came to money, it leads to different decisions and thoughts down the road. So there's no good, there's no bad with this. It's just understanding kind of what has been kind of the models that we've grown up around, and what environments do we currently put ourselves in, because we can shift it and become more skilled at managing money and our personal finances and business finances and things like that. So it's just important to understand that concept. That's really what I want to kind of get across here today. So identity, the way we think about things, matters. The next big piece then is, what habits do we have? And I had a mentor share this with me probably about a year and a half ago now. And I'll encourage you to write this down. I'll say it out loud once. So pause video, go back after we say it. But here it is. Write this down. Am I in the habit of having money, or am I in the habit of not having money? And this was very profound. It's very simple, but do we even get in the habit of having money, or do we get in the habit of spending our money all the time and not having it? This is where some of the great books like Richest Man in Babylon, which one of the first laws of gold is, save 10% of all that you earn, right? This is the habit of putting away money before you even get to use it, but always being in the habit of having money versus the habit of not having money. Simple things like this, but just getting into kind of that mindset of what shifts do we need to make around getting in the habit of having money. So this was very profound for me. I wanted to share that along with you because our habits do make a difference. How we think, how we start to participate in a habit standpoint, and then we talk about emotions and what emotions do we have when it comes to money. I don't know anyone out there who really could honestly say that they don't have emotions when it comes to finances or money. I know that I've had several emotions in it, but when we have a lot of emotion tied to money, especially when it comes to personal and business, when they overlap, it can become very difficult to make objective decisions. And to really understand how to manage money in a business, manage money in our personal lives, the more we can get away from emotion and more towards logic, the better the decisions we are that are helpful for continuing to generate more money and be able to use that as an effective tool versus doing something that's very emotional. So we're not going to get super deep into the emotions around money here today, but it's important to kind of understand that there is this connection between money and emotions. And the more we can focus on how do we separate those two things, the more effective our decision making will be when it comes to money. Um, so that's kind of the basics here. There's a lot to it when it comes to getting really good at business finances, especially as an entrepreneur, as a business owner that needs to know enough but doesn't want to be the CFO, things like that. But first and foremost, 9 times out of 10, it comes back down to how do we think about money first? What are the current belief systems that we have? What habits do we currently have? What emotions do we feel about it? And then how do we actually start understanding money as a concept, as a tool, versus this emotional amorphous thing that we've never been able to grip or wrap our heads around before. Setting that foundation makes it so much easier to manage personal finances, business finances, and everything that comes along with it. So maybe here in the next couple of weeks, we'll go a little bit deeper into different financial habits when it comes to business specifically, and why we track some of our financial numbers, and how that has had an impact on our business, on some of our clients' businesses, and then hopefully kind of some lessons learned for y'all. So make sure that you're subscribed, enjoy this video, make sure that you like it, and share it with some others, entrepreneurs out there that might find some value in it, and come back again the next couple of weeks, and we'll continue to provide some tips and tools as you continue to go on this journey of building your own business. Again, my name is Tanner O'Brien, and thank you so much for watching.